Hi everyone, Mark Kwok here. Today I want to talk about minimalism because this is a topic that fascinates me all the time, and yet I have a hard time living by it. But I do know deep down, and I think a lot of us do, that having less can be more for life. So today I want to talk about 5 main reasons I love the ethos of minimalism and why I keep getting pulled and tugged by this. And my life just is, I want to simplify. So in this channel, I clearly talk about a lot of things. And don't get me wrong, I still love a lot of the things I get. And I recommend all those things to you. And generally, they're like higher quality things. But there's always more room, I think, to shed and declutter and get rid of things and simplify. And so let's get into the 5 reasons I want to minimalize more and why it keeps tugging at my heart. Number 1 is practical. It's clutter. I don't like clutter. I hate clutter. I think visually it sucks. I think practically when you're walking around, there's stuff all over the place. I don't like clutter. And what better way to get rid of clutter than to simply get rid of things? A solution a lot of people turn to is actually just taking those things and shoving into drawers so they can't see the clutter. But honestly, all we're doing is moving it and just taking the clutter and putting it somewhere else. So the next time you open that drawer, have you ever had that where you open the drawer and it's like, I don't want to deal with this, and you close the drawer and then you just forget about the task? Let's get rid of stuff. And with that, we don't have to deal with the eyesore. We don't have to deal with the mental sore of clutter. Number 2, this one's pretty important, is I don't want things to own me. I want to own the things. I don't want the things to own me. There was actually one day where I was doing a bunch of errands. I think I had like 10 errands for the day. I put a to-do list and I just went through them. And at some point during the day, I realized, oh my God, every single one of these things has things attached to it. The errands are for the things. So like the 10 things I needed to do were like, let's pick up the dry cleaning. Let's drop off the watch for servicing. Let's buy that one thing that we needed. Let's fix up the car part that cosmetically I had problems with. Let's send the package that we need to send. Like everything had to do with things. It wasn't about like me as a person. It was like the things I owned and like the chores I had to do in service of those things. And I remember, oh my God, do I own these things or do they own me? And so in this situation, I would rather just have less so that that day doesn't look like that day anymore. Number 3, and I found this with actually a couple things where I have minimalized, but you end up appreciating things you have more. When you have the one thing that does the one job and it does it tremendously, you appreciate that thing as opposed to it being divided by 10 different things. When you have that one favorite jacket, when you have that one favorite watch, like there's a sentimentality, there's a simplicity, there's an attachment you have to that thing, which makes you appreciate it more. And number 4, this is about mental headspace. I think at the end of the day, when we're thinking about things, like I've often found myself in a headphones or like speakers forum, just talking about headphones. And sure, it's a passion, it's great. Like I have an actual interest in this stuff. But at some point, I think we've all been there where we like go from like it being something that's like interesting and we want to be a part of the conversation to like an obsession about that thing. And it's like every waking moment, you just go back to the headphone forums or like you're just thinking about headphones and buying them and selling them. And like that is unhealthy, I think. Like no one part of your life should just take up so much room. It should be a well-rounded life where you're thinking about your relationships, where you're thinking about your activities and your health and all these things. If it's just about the one thing, that can be a problem. And so for me, having less things and like caring less about those things to some extent, I think ends up having not like this hold on my mental headspace. It's more important to have a better relationship with your spouse or your friends than to have the next great tech item, right? Like I think we all kind of agree on that. And number 5, it's about simplicity. I think at the end of the day, we all appreciate simplicity. And there's a reason for that. Life is already so complicated as is, and it's messy. Try to have a kid and like keep your space clean. Forget it, dude. It's impossible. Like complicated. Try to have a deep relationship with someone and it's just super simple and easy. Yeah, right. There's so much complication in it. What adds more complication to our life than things as well? Like if that's another part of our life where the design of that and the placement of this and the amount of things there and like the very dude, like your life at some point is just like, it's too much. It's overwhelming. Let's simplify where we can, and what better place to simplify than somewhere where we have a lot of control, and that's the ownership of our things. Like, that's not something that generally should control us. Like, we control that. And so we can get rid of a lot of those things, and no longer does it really take up anything in your life and complicate your life further. We all know in the long term, these tenets are more important, and they're true. They ring true. This is why so many people, like, they go to the deep end sometimes. They get rid of all of their possessions. They're living on, like, they're sleeping on the floor. They like have one piece of clothing. I'm not ready to go there. And I think life is honestly a lot about balance. So that's like taking it to the deep end. But oftentimes when we're thinking about things, when we're buying things, it helps to kind of remember these things about minimalism. So yeah, those are the 5 reasons I love minimalism. This is a bit of a talking head video, but I thought it was on my mind, so I want to talk about it. Thank you guys so much for listening. My name is Mark Kwok. I'll see you guys on the next one.